Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today, after a couple of days of break, we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution, the new strategy game in early access by Game Labs. It is also a war game, and we are playing as the United States in this American Revolution game. We have just recently taken Boston from the British. We've driven Thomas Gage's forces north to Salem, and we do outnumber the British in between Salem and Boston as well. Now, we are largely made up of militia, which is not a great thing to be true, but it is what it is. And while I have taken Boston, and that is a major objective, and we've gotten a bunch of gold, we got a 20,000 gold reward as a result of taking that city. I've spent a fair bit of it, but what I really do need to do is I need to start building the country up. And so this video will probably be a fair bit of me sort of doing logistics and back-end stuff to try and make our cause stronger. Because, again, while we do nominally outnumber the British in Salem, we don't have sufficient officers to recruit all the men we need to sort of fill out our forces. You can see not enough officers and muskets, not enough officers, not enough officers, not enough officers. These forces, in many cases, are at 60% or less of their authorized strength between these regiments. The issue actually isn't, strictly speaking, recruits. We don't have enough recruits to fill our ranks out, but we've got, 200 plus recruits that have not been able to be assigned because I don't have enough junior officers to assign them. And so in the interest of nation building, one of the things that we have started to do is we are expanding the size of our barracks at Hartford to give us more recruits. We have also started constructing some schools, some officer schools at a couple of different places in the Americas. So we're building a schoolhouse in Middleborough, which will give us one additional officer per, I don't really know, it's not per day, but whatever the production metric is. We're also building a recruiting house in Boston to give us some additional recruits there. But the officers are really sort of my key thing here. So we're building the one schoolhouse. I swear we were building another schoolhouse somewhere else. Recruiting house in Albany. Where is that other officer's location? Is it? I know we were building at least two. Oh, we already built a schoolhouse in New Haven. So we've got a schoolhouse in New Haven. We are building a schoolhouse in Middleborough. And that should hopefully help. So right now we are producing, I guess, technically 7.2 officers per, again, it's not a month, but whatever the production metric is. And I am going to be doing some more research to try and open up some lower ranking officers, but right now we don't have that as an option. Our research options in the global pool are Intelligence Department, Navy Department, Morgan's Riflemen, or Iron. So rather than doing that, we're working on Army Innovation, which is 38 days away, which will give us another general, so we can sort of effectively command two armies. We are also working on Revolutionary Artillery, which will improve the research speed for artillery and that headquarters. We're working on support training, which will give us some additional auxiliary companies in the infantry regiment, which I believe helps with like the supply stretcher thing. I believe either influences supply or what does it do? Does it tell me? Supply stretcher is an auxiliary but necessary unit for the supply of soldiers on the field during battle. It can replenish ammunition in any type of unit. So yeah, there you go. But it'll also allow us to build a regional warehouse as well. And then we are also working on the United States muskets. So our chief engineer is working on opening up a new weapon type, U.S. musket, a typical composite piece produced by domestic gunsmiths using British and American components. The butt of the weapon is boldly marked U States to designate public ownership and deter the theft of government property. This new weapon type would allow us to improve the type of weapon we are currently building, because right now what we are producing is not great. So we can buy or we can capture other weapons on the market, but right now the only thing I can produce is a civilian musket, which is a very poor flintlock muzzle-loading musket. It's basically what it represents is like, hey, you're producing any kind of weapon that might have been publicly available. So you have gunsmiths who might be making fowling pieces. You have gunsmiths who might be making some basic rifles. You have gunsmiths who might be making basic smoothbores, but to no real, it's an assortment of weapons. It's definitely not of military quality. We're producing 90 of those a day through the factories we're renting. We're renting 9 sort of civilian factories to produce these at a cost of 360 gold, 1 iron, and 9.9 wood. But there's no real quality on those. And so a U.S. musket, which I believe would get us close to something like producing the brown bess domestically. We also can purchase stuff. So we could buy Charleville 77s from French providers, Spanish 55s from Spanish providers. There's 400 on the market of that, or a few brown besses which are on the market, which I will buy those. But they're very expensive to do this and not efficient. You know, you can see it costs us like 4 or 5 to produce a civilian musket. It costs us over 20 to purchase a French or Spanish weapon. So while we do have a handful of units equipped with them, we don't have a lot. And I don't think I'll ever have the money supply in the near term to produce a lot. Now, to that effect, one other thing I am looking at doing is improving the economy in this episode. So what we really need to do, we need to improve our mining. That'll produce more goods via the mines that we have. So like we've got some mines in Massachusetts and all these different sort of provinces. You can see like 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 5. So that like represents sort of the ability to build additional mining capability. Industry capability also could be worthwhile, but we don't have enough materials at the moment to do that because I've been selling a lot of those materials to fund the country. Additionally, we may want to expand our agriculture a little bit to provide more subsistence for our troops who need provisions when they're marching. But I do need to work on improving the economy. You know, now that we've got a chunk of cash and we've probably got a couple of days before we run out of it, we really do need to work on improving the economy. So to that extent, I know we've been selling some of our construction materials previously, but I'm going to go ahead and buy some of those back. Let's go ahead and buy, let's say 24 of those back for about 1,200. That'll give me up to 50. So then I can go to the construction menu. And what I've been told, or what I've seen online, is that what you really want to work on is you want to work on mining infrastructure, because that allows you to produce more copper, more iron, more wood. We need more iron for the rifles that we're making, first of all, but we also need more copper because that's an effective one in the future. It will allow us to produce artillery domestically. But 2, it also is really important in allowing you to sort of sell copper, which is pretty lucrative. So for example, if we go into the market here, we go to resources here, you can see if we sell copper, each unit of copper is worth almost 200 gold. So I've got 8 right now in stock. I could sell for 1,500 gold. Not going to do that quite yet, but it's the most valuable of the resources. Maybe saltpeter is an exception. That might be, it's about the same price to buy. It's a little less expensive to sell. And then also just, we don't have enough iron for the rifles we're building. So we really could use some additional mining technology. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. We're going to spend 30 material and 1,600 gold expanding our mining capacity. I'm going to do it in New York over here because it's far away from any potential British counterattack. And also this section here produces wood, iron, and copper. So that'll improve the, I think I can do that here, right? There we go. That'll improve the overall, we're making a limited amount of copper right now, but by building that here, that will expand production. If we actually go to the colony management screen, we can see currently New York is producing 2 copper, 3 wood, and 4 iron, and 4.8 building materials. By focusing more, and we're working on mining doctrine, which is increase that capacity somewhat, but by expanding the mining capacity there, that should also help a bit more as well. So there's that. Rhode Island, do we have... all of our troops right now are in Massachusetts. So I don't see any reason that we would be doing training doctrine for Rhode Island. I'm not raising any troops there. If I do mining doctrine, it'll produce a little bit more saltpeter. It'll cost a little bit of gold, but I think it's probably worth it. Construction could accelerate things we're building there, but I'm not building anything there right now. Propaganda is a lot of money, and people in Rhode Island already love us. Recruiting, the issue isn't recruits, so let's do mining. We'll focus on mining for Rhode Island. And then Connecticut, I don't even think we have any troops in Connecticut either. Lester's Massachusetts, right? Yeah. So I don't have any troops in Connecticut either. So to that end, we will change from recruiting doctrine to mining, because again, we produce a little bit of coal, a little bit of iron, a little bit of wood there, so that'll increase the production of those items as well. New York's already spending 280 gold to boost the mining there. New York is our most lucrative mining area. And then Massachusetts Bay, so like Boston is not super loyal to us. You can see here their loyalty is 1%. Now we did just retake the city from the British, so that plays part of a role in it. It'll slowly come back to our side, I think, if we just stay there for a bit. Other places like Leicester at 100% already. And then Middleborough's at 77%, I believe. But we could focus on loyalty or propaganda in Massachusetts Bay. Right now we're doing recruiting, but honestly, like look at all the stuff we're already producing from mines. Let's go ahead and focus on mining. It'll increase by 0.4, 0.4, 0.2, and 0.8. So I think that's important for us. I need more resources because at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get as many resources as I can, and then I'm going to turn around and sell those resources, and that'll be very important for allowing me to do what I need to do in terms of producing stuff. I don't know what the military facilities is. I'm not really sure what that is. I don't really want to invest a ton of money into expanding mining operations until we push the British a little bit further back in Massachusetts. So I'm going to wait on, getting more materials and building anything there. We're already building some buildings there. So like Leicester, we could build something in Leicester actually, but we're working on the town hall. It's not completely repaired yet. Providence, anything that has less than one construction point, I'm a little hesitant to actually build anything there. But Middleborough has a nice solid 2 construction points. It's got a pretty good labor pool right now. They're working on the schoolhouse. We could try and build another building there with the cash we have. I have horse production in Hartford, which I can also sell as a resource. I also have textile production, I believe, in Hartford, which I can also sell as a resource. We could work on expanding those. Or we could go with another material builder. Huh. Can I expand the textiles in Hartford at all? It doesn't look like I have that option. Let's hold off for now because you only have a limited number of building slots, and if we do some additional research, we'll get different buildings, which might be worthwhile saving some production slots for. So we'll keep it at the 9,000 gold we currently have in stock, and go from there. I'm also thinking that now may be the time for the invasion of Canada through Ticonderoga. So driving north, taking Fort Frederick, and then driving from Frederick north to St. John's, Burlington, Chambly, and then to Montreal. We've got a decent starting force at Ticonderoga, but all of these militia units pretty much are sort of just 3 companies with no ability to have like artillery. So what I think we might actually do here is we're going to take one of these companies and we're going to move them to Boston. Well, first we'll move them to Albany, then we'll move them to Boston. Meanwhile, we will move one of the better equipped companies of militia troops already in Boston. Or you know what? Screw it. Let's move the regulars here. So we'll pull, because I don't need to. I mean, again, the temptation is to drive hard on the British, but let's actually move to Hartford, and then we'll move up this roadway here toward Ticonderoga. I think I will pivot from the Massachusetts campaign. We'll leave a strong garrison in Boston, and then we will begin the invasion of Canada. And it'll either be at the head of an army led by Benedict Arnold, or we will have our commander move that way. Depends how quickly we can do it. So we'll go ahead and unpause things. I'm only going to be able to move one regiment at a time because I need to make sure. One of the things is the AI seems fairly unwilling to attack a strong garrison at their front. But if you weaken yourself too much, they will absolutely take advantage of that and attack you. So we will shift 600 men west while the other 450 men or 500 men come east, and then they'll kind of trade places. But I'll be switching militia into Boston out for regulars coming out of Boston. And so the qualitative improvement will also be noticeable for those troops moving to Ticonderoga. Meanwhile, we spent a whole bunch of income last turn, so we're down to 5,000. And then today, we're down to, okay, so we're losing about 500 a day. Revolutionary artillery is finished. Nice. Okay, we're going to do the 20 low-ranking officers. Our artillery chief is going to research that because I need those guys ASAP. I can't recruit replacements without them. I'm not going to wait the full 16 days. I will use some prestige or reputation. We have 63 reputation. We could definitely use 16 of that now, but I'd rather wait a few days and then do the officers in like once we can reduce the amount that we have to spend on reputation. I'd like to not fall below 50 in terms of reputation. So maybe we wait 3 days. So we're at $4,600. I want to see how much that drops by the 19th. Also, did I get those troops? Okay, these guys are on their way to Hartford. I think the other troops should already be in Albany. So let's get them down to Montgomery. Let's just move them that way. I'd love to be able to waypoint on the strategic map. I don't think I can. It's hard to tell too, because when they're outside of fog of war, you don't get quite the King George issues a proclamation declaring the American colonies in a state of rebellion and prohibiting trade with them. 1,300 more soldiers, more ships to blockade. Doesn't tell me where their soldiers are going, so that is important. That would be good to know. You know, I don't know if those are 1,300 reinforcements going to Salem or if they're going to Canada. At this point, I think I'd rather they reinforce Salem a bit. So what do we say? We're at 1,600 gold on the 17th, and now we're on the 18th, we're at 4,200 gold. Now we're on the 19th, and we're at 37. So it does seem like we're losing about 500 to 600 gold a day. Those soldiers are still marching. Meanwhile, the market, we buy a few more brown besses for the units that are equipped with them. We're producing a reasonable amount of civilian muskets, which we can also probably sell if we've got some surplus. I'm going to go ahead and sell the 11 copper that we have in our stockpile to keep that gold reserve a bit. So we'll get 2,000 gold back there. And then we'll hold off on selling the construction materials or anything else at the moment. The horses we may want to sell. I mean, we could generate a decent chunk of change by selling those, but we'll hold off for a moment on that. And then the textiles, which are primarily used for ships, we'll go ahead and sell those too. Meanwhile, have we finished any of the building stuff? Middleborough has completed the officer's house, so we are, I think, producing a little bit more of that, or we should be. The headquarters, 34 days on Army Innovation, 14 on low ranks. Okay. So waiting on the soldiers to get to their destinations. So they should be at New Haven, so we'll go ahead and try and march them over to Montgomery. And then I would assume these guys are going to be at Montgomery before too long. The 500 troops coming south. Doesn't sound like it. I don't hear any artillery. I don't hear any firing or anything like that. So I don't love that they're going to march straight through a forest. That's going to wear them out, but it is what it is. I'm curious also if, like, in winter, do armies campaign less? I mean, I know obviously Washington had his famous winter campaign in 1776. But generally, armies would go into winter quarters. All right, our troops in Connecticut found a smuggler's rum warehouse near the city. We could sell the cargo or transfer it to the city for free. I'm sure many residents will be delighted with such a gift. Need the money. Loyalty is currently 86%. Or give the people it. No, I'll take the money. 3,000 gold and 4 for 4 loyalty. That's worth the price. By the way, you get a lot of free money in this game. There are a lot of events that trigger where it's like, hey, you want some, you want to trade a little bit of loyalty for money? Go for it. Game really, really is fine with that. Well, these men move into Montgomery where they'll take a break. Their current condition is very poor. And also you take casualties as your conditioning gets worse or as weather is bad. So you don't want to like push troops too hard. All right, so the 510, you'll leave the garrison, you'll move to New Haven. And then the 600 troops, I think their condition has gotten good enough. Go up to Albany. See, we just lost a big chunk of that money through salaries. Looks like we've actually gotten us some officers back, so we apparently have sufficient officers now for our recruits. The British are up to 4,000 men at Salem. I'm going to go ahead and pull another. Well, no, I don't want to pull the 450. I want the weaker units here, so we'll pull 467. I wonder what the faster way is to take Ticonderoga. Is it this southern route, or is it, is it? I'm not sure. I don't think moving them that direction is going to be super efficient, but we'll see. Maybe the game is smart. Maybe the game's like, we'll send them on the fastest route. Enraged vigilantes demand justice. We've arrested a powerful loyalist in Massachusetts Bay. The loyalty there is only 58%, so I will not take the money. I will just let him go. Meanwhile, our research, 9 days in recruitment of lower ranks, so we'll do that to give me my 20 officers. I don't know that it's an urgent thing to give me them, but I'll spend a little bit of reputation to make it happen faster. These guys are going to New Haven, right? Yeah, all right, they're there. Okay. And oh wait, project recruitment done. So we've got our 20 officers. And I guess we'll go ahead and give me, I can't do copper there. Okay. Can I do Morgan's Rifleman? No. Navy Department? No. All right, so the only thing the artillery chief can work on is something in the artillery section at this point. I'm not producing guns, so let's do the new building, the blacksmith shop. I'm assuming that's important for building stuff. 28 days from that second army. But got a little bit of a surplus of officers here. Can I actually, so Boston has, we don't have enough recruits. Why am I shy on muskets? What type of, is it an issue with, okay, so 3 of the regiments have brown besses. The marketplace has 10 brown besses, which is definitely not enough, but I will go ahead and buy those 10. And then we've got 2,000 civilian muskets in stock. Let's go ahead and sell 1,053 of those to generate some cash. That'll give me $4,000. And then can we just buy some Charlevilles? Because we've already got some units equipped with them. Let's buy $4,000 worth of Charlevilles, which is 151. So all that money I got from selling the civilian muskets will go in toward buying a fraction of that amount of fancy French muskets. But 166 is a good chunk. It's enough to equip a company of troops. In fact, we could issue the order to equip one of these companies who have brown besses with the Charleville. And then that'll free up a few brown besses to go to the other 2 companies that have brown besses, while also freeing up you know, hopefully giving us another 100 recruits in this regular unit with Charlevilles. Now, how many recruits do we have in Boston right now? None. So we're kind of already using all the recruits that we have there. We also have Boston set as a priority location, so it should suck in recruits from surrounding towns. Falmouth needs help. The burning of Falmouth was an outrage exceeding in barbarity and cruelty. More than 400 buildings and houses are recorded as damaged or destroyed by fire. The people are left to fend for themselves for the winter in a town left with no lodging, eating, or housekeeping. Okay, so we can either give them provisions and cloth. We don't have enough provisions or cloth. We can give them money. I don't have $5,000. Or, you know, we all suffer in this war. Oh, my God. Well, that will really hurt the loyalty in Massachusetts Bay, but I don't have $5,000 to give them. I hate to take that type of a loyalty hit in Massachusetts. Boston, no loyalty. Leicester, still at 100. Middleborough's at 60. So most of the areas in Massachusetts Bay. So Falmouth is where? Way up here? So we lose some loyalty support behind the lines. And also in Boston. But Middleborough, Leicester, and Hatfield still firmly in the revolutionary camp. We can also choose to forage if we need more supplies and things like that when we're on the road. Continental currency printed. The Continental Congress authorizes the printing of continental currency, a form of paper money issued to so it increases our government efficiency, which is kind of ironic because it was not well regarded at all. In fact, it wasn't backed by anything, and so by 1778, 1779, it was effectively worthless, and was a problem. That was a major problem. All right, so these guys go to Ticonderoga, I guess. Take the long route. Does Ticonderoga have some? Ooh, they've got 700 recruits, just chilling. Okay. Meanwhile, our money is pretty much almost gone. All right. So Ticonderoga got those regulars. They arrived. They are fully equipped for the 5 regiments or 5 companies. We're also going to raise an artillery company there. It's going to have to be 3-pounders because I don't have anything else sufficient to form a battery. We'll go ahead and form a battery of artillery there. So the regular unit will consist of 5 companies of regulars and then also a company of artillery. And I need some additional money at this point. So we have increased our stocks of civilian muskets by about 250. Let's sell those for 1,000 gold. Gets us up to 2,000. And then let's also look at the resources here. We've got 2 copper back in stock, so we'll sell that for 300. I don't have sufficient iron to sell. We're not building anything at the moment, so we could sell 12 of these. Probably don't need that for construction at the moment. And then we can sell 18 horses for about 600 gold. Goods, we've got 1 textile. We'll sell that. And that is that. I would love more 6-pound field gun batteries. Let's also buy 24 more Charlevilles. 23. It'll keep me above 3,000 gold, but it will increase my stocks a little bit, which have been reduced since the last time we bought them because we outfitted that 1 company with them. We'll also go ahead and buy the only brown besses which are on the market. There's 5 of them. Are we getting any progress toward loyalty in Boston? Not enough muskets. All right, so this company is 5 shy, and they have brown besses. So we'll almost be fully equipped with 2 companies of brown besses and 1 company of charlevilles, and then 3 companies of civilian muskets. You know what I'm kind of tempted to do also is dismiss one of these companies in the Fusilier Regiment and raise an artillery company. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Because I want every one of my units, especially every one of my regular units to have artillery. I think artillery is very important to have in this game. Okay. So those 2 companies of militia have almost made it to Boston. I think the directly overland route might actually be faster. These guys seem to be making better progress. Another 1,300 British troops are going to Canada. They keep reinforcing Canada. My hope is that they're spread out in multiple garrisons, because we are in trouble if they are not. Meanwhile, we're now in the red. I need more money. So we'll sell 255 civilian muskets. Gets me back in the black for the moment. Man, when you don't have enough money, those troops just dwindle quickly. Okay. Hey, Massachusetts Bay gave me more money. Again, the random events to the rescue. And it's also winter now. You can see there's snow everywhere. So Ticonderoga has another regiment with artillery. So now we've got 3 regiments that have at least some artillery. Some change in international relations. Meanwhile, we're actually stronger now after all the recruiting we've done and reinforcing some of these units. Not enough muskets. What don't they have enough of? Brown besses probably. It looks like we're probably 3 short. There's nothing on the open market. Sell 3 more copper. I do produce enough wood, so we'll sell 6 of that to get a little bit more breathing room on cash. We'll sell 15 construction because I'm not doing any construction right now. We'll sell 7 saltpeter because I'm not really fighting a whole lot right now. 7 more coal because that stockpile's going up also. And then let's just sell all of our horses. I have no use for them. That gets us up over 5,000 gold. Spend 1,400 of it on more charlevilles, which I'll continue to acquire at a slow rate. And actually, for the regulars that are already at Ticonderoga, one of them already has charlevilles. Let's give a second one charlevilles. Okay. And then we can go around and, with those civilian muskets that we've freed up, sell some of those for a little bit of extra cash. And then buy a couple more charlevilles so that we've got a little bit of a buffer based on that company that we're equipping with them. Okay. So we're back to 5,000 gold. And raise funds. I would like to do that. We'll hold off for now while we research that other stuff. I should also send another company that has large amounts of artillery out west. So we'll go ahead and send this militia regiment to Ticonderoga. Now, what we also should be doing is we should be raising more units also, which is expensive to do, but we do have a sort of buffer. We've got 5 more regiments we can raise. Ticonderoga has 700 soldiers, so let's go ahead and raise our first regular infantry regiment. We do have the 2 Fusiliers, Unit limit exceeded. You can raise Hessians as the Americans? Well, there's Hessians in the game either way. But all right, let's go ahead and raise a regular unit. This will be the first unit of Fusiliers that we have raised from scratch. Do we have any other kind of guns? 4-pound gallopers? I don't have sufficient ones there. So let's go ahead and create this regiment. It'll be 5 junior officers, 100 muskets, or whatever that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 muskets, and then 150 gold. It'll cost more men as we recruit. It'll cost more money as we recruit more men into that regiment. But effectively, this is our first continental regiment. So that's pretty exciting. And maybe we should go ahead and we should name them. Maybe we should give them a name. What should we call them? Maybe we should just call them the Continentals, right? Because they are sort of the first Continentals. Or we could call them Ross McNutt's Brigade, or we'll just call them the First Continental. We'll also add some artillery to them too, but I don't know what gun to give them. So anyway. All right, so we're raising a Continental Regiment at Ticonderoga. We've got sufficient manpower to do that. I'm a little worried we may not have the funds to recruit everybody that we need to recruit. For cannons, there's gallopers on the market we could acquire. Let's give them better guns. I think you need at least 5 guns for a full battery. So we'll go ahead and spend 1,000 to get 2 more 4-pound gallopers. They'll be slightly less mobile. They'll have slightly better range in the 3-pounders and more power, considerably more power. So it'll be a more impactful artillery unit than the typical militia artillery that we have. All right. So we'll see how much this torpedoes our income, but it'll be fun to have 2 Continental regiments and one of them sort of brand new from the ground up. We may have to immediately go and raise more funds, but we'll see. And I don't know who's going to lead this army. I don't know if it's going to be Benedict Arnold. At this rate, it might be Arnold, just because I want to keep one general west in Boston to deal with the British. But we're at 3,300. What will be on the 3rd of November? Okay, we spent about 1,100 that turn. Not enough officers. Damn. Recruiting these units uses so many lower ranking officers. We did fully equip almost 3 of our companies in 1 month, but we burned through all of our officers that we had available, and now we're waiting on more. I don't love this. Okay, so apparently the Iroquois and the Cherokee are going to war. I don't know how that factors into this game. I think I might scrap Portsmouth's militia regiment here. There's only 3 companies of troops. You can't expand it to 4. They're just militiamen, and they are using up some artillery. So we'll go ahead and disband those. They'll add more troops to Ticonderoga. They'll also give us some officers, in theory, back. Okay. Oh, I had them leave I hit the wrong button. So let's go ahead and disband this unit. I'll get more officers. Oh, they're 4-pound gallopers too. So I didn't even need to buy the gallopers we had, but it'll give us more officers to pull from for these other units. Oh, nice. And we also produced more officers this turn too, so. But I'm low on cash. So do we have more resources? We've produced more copper, so I can go ahead and balance the budget. I like to usually have at least 51 wood in stock, but and 40 construction allows you to build most of the buildings you would possibly need to build. You know what? Let's do all but we'll keep 25 coal in stock and 25 saltpeter. And then we've produced 2 horse. So that gets us back to $3 grand-ish. Also, we've got 4 textiles we can sell. So we're almost back to $3 grand. Could probably sell the 6-pound field guns, but I like the idea of having an artillery company with them. We are producing surplus regular muskets, so we'll go ahead and sell 406 of them. Although I don't know if that's smart or not. I mean, we'll produce more. That'll give me $1,700. We'll buy another 20 Charlevilles. Spend a little bit of that cash on some muskets. All right. So now we've got $4 grand in cash again. The whole not enough money thing is always dangerous. It causes units to kind of melt away pretty quick. But, all right. That money dropped real fast to 1,500 and now to 600. But, at least for the moment. Nice. So Ticonderoga still has 700 surplus recruits. We have 2 units of regulars here that are nearly at full strength. So we've got this unit, which is at full strength. This unit, which has all of the companies except for 1 at full strength. We're still needing more officers, but overall that seems like better. Seems like a little bit better shape. We are still producing the mining in New York. So where is it being produced anyway? 66 more days on this? I wish it would be nice if there was a way to speed that up. Headquarters, 15 days till we have our next officer. We need more low-ranking officers. Where can we put them? All right, let's replace the ordnance facilities, the blacksmith shop. And we'll also just raise more funds in our... We'll do that right away. I know it'll get me below 50, but I don't want to delay getting Arnold too much, and I really just need money. So I think it's just 1,000 gold. Rum smuggling. Rhode Island's totally loyal, so give me the 2,000 gold. And then I don't need 180. Well, 108 brown besses would be pretty sweet, but I don't have 3,000 gold to give you, so the smuggling, the arms dealer is going to have to just be okay. So again, this is not probably the most exciting 45 minutes of your day. You know, a lot of logistics, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I skip through this every now and then when I do my episodes, but I also thought, hey, this would be something worthwhile possibly watching. All right, 15 days. I don't want to spend too much more reputation. I needed the money, but I don't particularly want to spend the reputation. Also, give me that copper in 14 days. We'll wait on the muskets. Copper's valuable since I can't necessarily turn around and raise funds again one day later. I can sell the copper right away, though, so that would be useful. Because this money's going to just start dropping like a rock. Did we do the 20 officers? Yeah, we got 15 days on that. Okay. Not enough officers or provisions. All right, you go. I'm going to send this wagon somewhere. I don't know where they can pick up provisions, but Lord Dunmore's proclamation. Royal Governor of Virginia, Lord Dunmore, issues a proclamation declaring martial law. Okay. Is Virginia even on the map? I don't even see Virginia on the map. I thought maybe that would lead to it expanding. But it's given the British more resources, I suppose. Provisions are low. We need more food. I can't feed the army. Can't feed the army. Can't give them enough men. Can't pay for things. This is a realistic game. Yeah. Please don't starve. Please don't starve. You are the best. All right. Man, that not enough officers is killing us here. 11 days on that. I could use the officers now, but where's the wagon anyway? Does anybody have enough provisions? I wonder if the provisions are harder because it's winter. Because that is an interesting variable, is that it is winter, so could that influence things? Also, I don't know for a fact that the supply wagon will increase provisions. Meanwhile, the Alliance, okay, so we get some more couriers, which gives me more provisions. That'll be nice in sort of the global pool. Should prioritize where we have soldiers. Oh, but there goes all my money. All right. But I've got 3 copper I can sell. I can, by the way, you can auto sell. So like I could automatically say, auto sell this unit until there's 25 in storage. Nope, not what I wanted. All right. So if I do this, it'll auto sell until there's 25 in storage. So now we'll just get more money regularly. We can do the same for the construction material as auto sell until there's 40 in storage. Auto sell saltpeter until there's 25 in storage. Auto sell coal until there's 25 in storage. Oh, what? 70? Oh, okay. And then just auto sell all of your horses. Okay, so that may make things a little bit less overheady. It's not a word, I know. Also, we can sell 250 muskets or 225 muskets. Okay, so money problems slightly reduced. We could buy provisions, I think, on the market too. But yeah, we're all right. So what is this? Another confiscation of cargo. Connecticut's very loyal, so I'll take the cash. Good thing too, because we lost like 2,000 gold that turn, so it kind of just evened us out. Provisions went up when the wagon arrived, so I think those provisions went into the fort. I think. Looks like they helped. All right. 8 days from having another officer. $7 days on having a bunch more copper. Meanwhile, it's interesting. The British numbers have fallen in Salem by a little bit. So the 2nd Connecticut, also the regular unit here is at full strength. So we'll go ahead and pull them out of Boston and send them to Ticonderoga. Send them to Fort Rice first. They'll march through the winter and probably take some casualties doing that. But Boston is hopefully still strong enough to prevent a British assault. While we strengthen Ticonderoga, another 600 men will give us over 3,000. Last we checked, Frederick had around 2,000 soldiers. So if that hasn't changed, we may still have an advantage there. Not that I think invading Canada in the dead of winter is necessarily smart. But, you know, sometimes you do what you got to do. We're going to be in the red now, aren't we? There we are. All right, so we're back in the red for cash. Do I actually still have to manually sell this stuff? It's not auto selling as far as I can tell. It has the pre-defined click here to sell thing, but all right. These guys into Fort Rice where they will rest for a day or two. And there goes all my money again. All right, 3 days on that. Let's just speed the army innovation along right away. So then I can just turn around and start immediately on the raising funds. Smuggler's Warehouse. Massachusetts Bay is not very loyal to me, but 3,000 gold would go a long way. So sorry, boys. Meanwhile, the British are sabotaging our relations with the Spanish. Boston, still 0% loyalty. Middleborough's at 59. That's a little concerning. That's low. Leicester still at 100. Hatfield's still at 100. So a lot of these events, what they're doing is they're preventing me from gaining loyalty in Boston, which I may need to build some houses or things like that. Not houses, but like recruiting houses and things like that might be helpful. Raise funds. Yep. 12 more days. Meanwhile, Benedict Arnold is available. So let's do this. Let's raise Benedict Arnold. I don't know if that costs us money or not, but where does he comes online in Providence. So Mr. Benedict Arnold, you are going to go to Ticonderoga. You get the trait of either tireless, own speed, command radius, or spotting. Let's go with command radius. Charismatic figure. So we've got 2 generals now, ladies and gentlemen. We can have 2 field armies. Hell yeah. I'd raise more troops because I do have a little bit of free capacity here, but I don't know that I have the cash to do that quite yet. Conditioning's good enough. Go to Ticonderoga. Arnold, go to Ticonderoga. Refill copper's done by our engineer. Okay. So the engineer will work on the fur factory, rum factory, and cigar factory. That'll be nice. A nice way to give us a little bit more cash. It'll take a lot of time, but it'll help the economy to have those as options. Every regiment except for one now has artillery at Ticonderoga, so we'll take Max boys, move into Leicester, and then we'll have the okay. Then we'll have one more unit of Continentals with artillery here back in Boston. they'll move to Ticonderoga. And then once these guys arrive, I think we will be ready to launch our assault on Canada. It does look like Fort Frederick now has 2,400 troops. So we don't really outnumber them. It's only a level 1 fort. But with the additional 600 regulars here and then the 500 or so that we have on the way, we should have sufficient forces, I think, to at least assault Frederick. You're going to make it into the fort. There you go. Also interesting that when you have a governor, you get the American flag. Well, Boston doesn't have the American flag. But Ticonderoga does. Huh. All right, so we finished our artillery chief's project. You can't work on any of those other things, so we will switch back over to the blacksmith shop. 8 more days on money. So I will stay in the Eastern Theater. Matthew Butcher and Benedict Arnold will hopefully not betray us, and we'll stay at Ticonderoga. Waiting on Hodgkin's boys to get us up to 3,500 troops and a 1,000-man advantage over the British at Frederick. And it's only a level 1 fort, so we should be more easily able to overrun it. Also, I imagine the concentration of artillery that we have will supersede anything that the British can realistically bring to bear. All right. So selling those civilian muskets, oh, Jesus Christ, all the money went away. Goes a long way to funding the economy. Okay. It just like instantly vanishes. It's gone. No money. Okay. We've got 9 copper. We can sell that for a pretty penny, almost 2,000 just through that. So I still have to manually click these buttons to sell this stuff. So I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work, but anyway. Ticonderoga has about 800 soldiers. All right, Rhode Island, yep, give me more cash. I'll take 2,500 gold. Again, that's just vanishing. Where these army salaries have just skyrocketed. Is that because I have another general officer? I don't think I changed production. The only thing that seems to have changed is that Benedict Arnold is on the map now. Dude's a siphon. Another 1,300 troops to northern frontier. And then Hodgkin should be at Ticonderoga here any minute. Okay. Okay, so we now have a 1,000-man advantage over the British at Fort Frederick. Benedict Arnold is at Fort Frederick. He doesn't have enough muskets. He's like 1 shy in the Charleville. But I think this is the moment to begin the assault on the British. So we will use the 1,000-man advantage that Benedict Arnold has to start a drive into Canada. I know the weather is bad, but we will see if we can do that. We will do that in our next episode. So we'll see how things play out in the next episode. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series. And in our next episode, we'll see how the invasion, I think technically this is still New York, but we'll see how the start of the Northern campaign with our second general goes. Until then, this is the Historical Gamer, as always, saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.